close vision, so I have to wear glasses now.
You mind if I put these in your
Sure.
yours right there?
Okay. I got the key to the door.
Mike, this is one of those forms where it kind of covers one thing we have, because of possession bill of rights, we have to cover is the carriers, but some of this is not going to file. We won't read it. I just want to pre-fill it out. This upside down. Not really. It's Kuzma. Correct. Alright. We also audio record this and we'll video them as well. This is for transcripts. This is Sergeant Jason Vance of Little Metro Police Department's Public Integrity Unit. Today's date is May 18th, 2020. The time now is approximately 13:38 hours. We are here present at 3672 Taylor Boulevard at the Public Integrity Office. This will be a recorded statement from Detective Mike Kuzma. The statement is in reference to PIU case 20-019. Present with me is Detective Mike Kuzma. Our attorney is not present, and Sergeant Jeremy Rood of the Public Integrity Unit. Detective, are you aware the statement is being video and audio recorded?
Yes.
Does this meet with your approval?
Yes.
Please state your full name and spell your last name, please.
It's Michael P. Kuzma III. It's Kuzma.
And sir, what's your code number?
7063.
Where are you currently assigned?
Chevy Police Department, Special Investigations Unit.
How long have you been in the unit?
7 years.
How long have you been in deployment?
12 years.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or any other intoxicants at this time?
No.
Are you taking any kind of medication that would affect your judgment or your ability to think clearly?
No.
This section here does not apply. Because the statutory requirements of KRS 67C.326, I'm obligated to advise you that this is a criminal investigation, not an administrative investigation. However, you are not the subject of this investigation. Knowing this, are you willing to give us a statement this time?
Yes, sir.
Mike, I'm going to let you just start, and just, if you can, just kind of keep it in a timeline, if you will.
So on the only real good date I can give you is on January 17th, Sergeant John Mattingly had reached out to Sergeant Salyer and myself inquiring about an address that might be getting parcels. And originally, and he actually gave us an address and a name. And originally, the name rang a bell. It was actually the last name. I think their guy's name was Jamarcus Glover. Our guy's name was Jason Glover. It was in the difference. So originally we had told you, hey, I think we're familiar with that guy. I think that we did have some interaction with him. And then I did some research on it, checked it. There was no parcel history, and I had told Sergeant Mattingly that a different guy. Glover name got my attention, but the first name it's not the same guy. So at that point, I had, like I said, I told John Mattingly that, hey, no parcels, and that was pretty much the end of it. So Moving forward, maybe a couple weeks, Kelly Hanna had reached out to me, asking about the same address. And I explained to her that, I had been asked about the address, and there was no parcels, and she started talking about the guy, and I told her that, we had originally thought that it could have been the same person, but it wasn't. Same last name, different person. Conversation ended, and then just a short time later, again, I don't know if it was days, I don't recall, Mike Nobles had reached out and asked the same question. And again, I told no, there was no history. And that was pretty much it.
If you can, and I'm not familiar with this whole process, but explain to me the process in which, how you determine that information.
So I have to call the postal inspector. So if somebody calls me and says, hey, can you check an address? We have no access to the federal database at all. So if we want any information, we have to call a postal inspector as if it was our own case and just say, hey, can you run an address for me? And let it know, and then we would let the officer know, hey, they said there was nothing.
And if you don't mind, do you know? You may not know. Is it possible? Is it possible to check for parcels in multiple different ways? Can you run it by name? Can you run it by address? Can you run it by what?
No, you have to do it by address.
It's only address.
Mm-hmm. So if I call them and say, hey, can you run this guy's name and see if he's getting parcel, it doesn't. They can't get that information.
Okay. So it's based solely on a physical address.
And that's my experience with my cases.
Right.
If I call them, I have to be able to say, hey, can you check an address? That's it.
Okay. Now, have you had any more contact with these people in this incident? I know you spoke about having contact with Sergeant Madeline and Detective Hanna and then Detective Nobles. Since this all has come out, have you had any contact with them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you talk about
that? So when I saw the affidavit came out and they said that Postal had said, I called John Madeline and I said, hey, I noticed that James's affidavit said that he got confirmation from Postal that he's receiving boxes. I had told you no. Is there something that had happened? Or did he talk to another inspector? What he said? And John said that he told him no. He didn't tell him that there was boxes. So and actually John's like, I don't even know that I even talked to him. He said he couldn't remember if he even got back with me. So I again called Mike and had that conversation with Mike, and Mike said no as well. So
Mike said no. Mike said he told James no.
Mike told, when I asked Mike I said, hey, I don't know if you saw the affidavit or not, but did you tell James that I told you no? And Mike didn't say specifically no, but he just kind of was like, man, I'm not, he wasn't getting into it. He said, basically, just let Postal, they were pissed off, because I said that Postal was pissed off at me because of the information was out, and supposedly we weren't supposed to be giving it to them, which, if that was the case, I didn't know that. So Mike just kind of veered off to that. I don't know that he absolutely directly said, no, I did not, or yes, I did. I don't recall if he actually said that. He just kind of veered off, Postal just needs to get over it.
Sorry,
when you ran the address, I guess Sergeant Manley reached out to you in January 17th of this year, running it by the address. Was there a time frame that you ran it by?
It would have been that day.
Okay.
Oh no, so
do they go back so many months, or?
I don't know, because I don't do it. I just say, hey, can you check history on this parcel? So
right,
I don't know if they have to put a date in if they go back for a year, because like I said, I don't have access to their database. I don't know if it's just something that they do, go back a year, go back 6 months. I don't know. I just know that they put an address in. If it requires a date frame, I don't have that answer.
Okay, and it would just tell you if any boxes had been delivered there. and it wouldn't necessarily give you a name of who it was delivered to. Is that
No,
correct?
it would give you,
Okay.
like, it would, like, you could say, like, if I said, hey, can you pull a box history? You know, it's like sometimes throughout where they're going, they like have scanners or whatever, who knows. But yes, it'll say who the box is, you can see who the box is going to.
Okay, but in this case, or this address is 3003 number 4 Springfield, there were no boxes delivered at all, as far as you know, to anyone.
No.
Okay.
Well, and I mean, I don't know if they were getting like Amazon boxes. I'm assuming that, like, when I call Postal and they tell me no, I'm assuming they're looking from source states and places that, I mean, they're not probably saying, no, there's 0 box. There was an Amazon, there was Target. They're not getting in all that.
Right, we're
telling
just
me no
kind of narrowed
boxes
down
from
to
source
postal
states,
inspector. Yeah, that's what we want to zone in,
Yeah.
since that was used in the affidavit.
Yeah,
That's kind
so
of our concern.
they're, what they look at, they told me no, and that's what I passed on, was no.
Okay.
Yeah.
At any time, did any other detective, like after the warrant was served, contact you about boxes going there, or do you recall Detective James contacting you at a later date after the
He didn't reach out to
warrant?
me.
Okay.
I've never talked to Josh James.
Okay.
I don't even know who he is.
Okay, so you never worked.
He could walk in
cases
this room
right
right now, I have no idea who he is.
Okay.
Mike, is there anything that we haven't asked you think is important in this? Do you have the correspondence between the parties that you can forward to us?
The only thing that I have, and I think that Timmy probably has as well, is the group message where Sergeant Mattingly had reached out to Timmy and I in a group and said, hey, can you guys, one of you all check this address? That's the only text conversation that I have.
Well, I think Sergeant Sawyer's he's gonna forward that to me. Let's finish this up. Are there any questions are there any questions we have not asked you, or any other information that you may have that would be beneficial to this case? Is there anything you want to state for the record before we end?
I don't think so.
Is everything you told me the truth, best of your knowledge?
Yes.
And I'll conclude the statement. Time now is approximately 13:49 hours.